I froze when I saw the footage. The screen showed me walking into my own house at 2:13 a.m. I watched myself close the door, take off my shoes, and walk upstairs. The problem was, I was not home at 2:13 a.m. I was at work, on night shift, sitting in the security office where I now stood, staring at myself on the screen. The person in the video looked exactly like me. Same build, same haircut, same jacket. He moved the way I moved. Even the way he scratched his neck looked the same. He didn't break in. He had a key. My key. He moved calmly, like he belonged there. And then the camera caught his face. The face turned slowly toward the hallway camera, eyes looking straight into the lens. Direct. A small smile. Not my smile. It was too long. And wrong. Like the face was mine, but the person inside wasn't. I felt cold crawl from my spine up to my arms. My breath didn't want to move. Then the figure on screen did something that made my heart stop. He lifted a finger to his lips, like he was telling me to be quiet. The footage cut to black. And that was only the first time. Before all of that happened, life was normal. Or at least, I thought it was. My name is Michael. I live in Ohio, in a quiet neighborhood with small houses and old trees that creak when the wind blows. I work at a grocery warehouse as a security monitor. It's not exciting. I sit in front of screens for 8 hours and watch nothing happen. My parents died when I was young. They told me I had a twin brother, but he died at birth. I never saw him. I grew up thinking about him sometimes, wondering what it would have been like to grow up with someone who shared my face. Would we have been best friends? Would we have fought? Would we have switched places to mess with teachers? But he was gone before I ever knew him. Or at least, that's what I believed. Everything started 3 weeks ago. During my shift, I noticed something strange in the warehouse cameras. Row 14. The storage aisle where no one goes at night. There was a figure standing there. Not moving. Not working. Just standing. I zoomed in. It looked like me. My heart started beating fast. I blinked, rubbed my eyes, and leaned closer. I thought maybe the screen glitched, or maybe someone was wearing the same jacket. But no. It was my face. My shoulders. My posture. My exact expression. He stared up into the camera. Directly. Like he knew where it was. Like he knew I was watching. I looked down at my phone and checked the time. 3:42 a.m. I was sitting in that chair. So how could I also be in the aisle? I switched to the next camera view, but the figure was gone. I ran to row 14, but the aisle was empty. No footsteps. No sound. No sign anyone had been there. Just cold air, as if the temperature was wrong. Like the place had been empty for a long time. I tried to tell myself I imagined it. Long shifts can mess with your brain. People fall asleep with their eyes open. People think they see things. But the next night, it happened again. This time, the figure stood at the bottom of the staircase leading to the office I was in. The camera showed him standing very still, looking up toward where I was sitting, looking directly at me again. He didn't move. He didn't blink. He just watched. I couldn't move from my chair. My heart felt like it was trapped inside something squeezing it. I couldn't breathe right. My fingers shook against the desk. Then the figure took one step up the stairs. I heard the metal step creak in real life. I heard it behind me. But when I spun around, nobody was there. I checked the camera again. The figure was gone. I didn't sleep that morning. I didn't sleep the next day either. I kept telling myself it was stress. I didn't want to be the kind of person who says things like ghost or doppelganger or spirit. But it felt worse than any of those things. Because it felt real. 2 days later, I found something that made everything harder to ignore. I came home from work. I closed my door, locked it, took off my shoes, walked into my kitchen, and there on the counter was a bowl of cereal. Not old, not stale, fresh, milk still cold, spoon leaning inside, like someone had just prepared it and walked away. But I live alone. I checked every room in the house. Closet, bedroom, kitchen, laundry room, basement. Nothing. No sound. No movement. But I knew someone had been there. The house did not feel empty. It felt like something was hiding just out of sight. That night I couldn't stay in the house. So I went to work early. I sat down in the security room. I tried to calm down. Then I saw the footage of me walking into my house at 2:13 a.m. Not breaking in, entering like he lived there. I watched him move room to room. Slowly, calmly, like someone exploring their own home. Like someone remembering something. Then the face. Then the smile. Then the gesture. Finger to lips. Be quiet. The footage ended there. No exit. No leaving the house. No sign he ever walked out. Which means, if he was real, he was still inside my home. Right now, the air in the security room felt heavier. Like gravity doubled. My vision blurred around the edges. My ears throbbed like they were filling with hot pressure. I tried to stand, but my legs wobbled. Then my phone buzzed. One new text. From my own number. It said, "I'm home. Where are you?" My whole body locked up. My mouth felt dry like paper. My fingers felt cold. Then another message came through. "Hurry. I don't like being alone." And then another. "We're supposed to be together." I felt something behind me. Not breathing. Not moving. Just present. As if someone was standing there, waiting for me to turn. I did not turn. I didn't dare. The room lights flickered once. Then I heard a voice right behind my left ear. It sounded exactly like mine. "Finally. You saw me." I did not run. I could not. My body felt like it was being pushed down into the chair, my muscles frozen stiff. The voice was right beside me, close enough that I could feel the warmth of breath on my ear. But the air in the room felt cold, too cold, like the temperature had dropped in an instant. I forced myself to turn my head. No one was there. The room was empty. The chair behind me was empty. The doorway was empty. The hallway outside the office was empty. But the voice had been real. I heard it. I felt it. It wasn't in my mind. It was in the room. My phone buzzed again. "Don't turn around." I dropped the phone like it burned my skin. I backed away from the desk, knocking the chair over. My heartbeat was loud in my ears, like drums pounding through my chest. The security monitors flickered. Every screen changed at once. Hallway. Stairwell. Storage. Parking lot. Break room. And in every camera, I was there. Standing. Watching. In some of them, I was facing the camera. In others, my back was turned. One version of me stood at the front entrance door. One stood in the break room. One stood at the bottom of the stairs. But one was standing right outside the security room door. I could see it clearly on the camera labeled CM01. He was standing still. Shoulders relaxed. Head slightly tilted. His face looked like mine, but not tired, not scared. His expression was calm. Too calm. Calm in a way that felt wrong, like someone wearing a human mask. His eyes were focused on the door. Not blinking. Not moving. Just waiting. I held my breath and listened. The hallway was silent. Then, soft footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Purposeful. Step. 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 Walking toward the door. I backed away until my back hit the far wall of the office. I grabbed the metal flashlight from the desk, gripping it tight. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. Swing it, throw it, hold it. But my hands needed something to latch onto, or I was going to fall apart. The footsteps stopped right outside the door. Silence. Then, the doorknob turned. Just a click. But the door didn't open. It turned slowly, like whoever was on the other side was testing how far it would go. My breath caught. I could feel my heart beating in my throat. Then something tapped on the door. Not knocking. Just one soft tap. Like a finger. Tap. Another. Tap. Another. Tap. Then the voice came again. But this time, it wasn't a whisper behind me. This time, it came from behind the door. Low. Calm. Familiar. "Let me in." I couldn't speak. The words were stuck somewhere deep in my chest, locked away, unreachable. "Michael," the voice said, perfectly level, no emotion. "We're supposed to be together." I tightened my grip on the flashlight until my knuckles hurt. The door handle clicked again, but the lock held. For now. I forced my voice to work. "Who are you?" Silence. Then a soft laugh. My laugh. But twisted. "You know who I am." "No," I said, breath shaking. "You're not real." Another laugh. Longer this time. Closer to amusement. Or hunger. "You should have died too." My skin crawled. My stomach flipped. My throat tightened. "What are you talking about?" I said. Silence again. Then the voice said calmly, "I was born first. You were the extra. The mistake. I was supposed to stay. You took my place." My hands shook so violently the flashlight almost fell. The cameras flickered again. All of the figures disappeared, except the one at the door. On the screen, I watched him lean close to the camera, his face filling the frame. He smiled that wrong smile again. Too wide. Too stretched. He whispered, "Give me back my life." The monitors all went black at once. The lights in the office went out. The door handle rattled violently. The whole door shook like something was slamming against it. I pressed my back against the wall, gripping the flashlight like a weapon, my heart trying to escape my chest. The banging stopped. Silence. I didn't breathe. Then, footsteps walked away. Slow, calm, like nothing had happened. I stayed in that dark security room for almost an hour before I could move. When the lights came back, the cameras returned to normal. No figures, no copies, no duplicates. But I didn't go home. I drove to the only place I could think of, the hospital where my mother gave birth. It took 2 hours of searching old records, 2 hours of convincing a tired nurse to help me, and another hour waiting while she dug through paper files in a basement room that smelled like dust and disinfectant. She came back with a thin, yellowing folder. Birth records. Surname, Harris. Twins. But there was something wrong. The folder had my name, Michael Harris. But where the second baby's information should have been, the space was blank. Completely blank. Not scribbled out. Not erased. Just empty. Is this normal? I asked. The nurse shook her head. Every newborn is recorded. Weight, time of birth, condition. Even stillbirths are recorded. But this is empty. She nodded slowly. I've never seen one like this. There was more. At the bottom of the form, in handwriting, a note. Child B, not discharged. No explanation. No record. Just those 3 words. Not discharged. What does that mean? I whispered. The nurse hesitated. It could mean the infant was moved for medical care. Or transferred. She paused. Or kept. Kept where? She didn't answer. I felt a cold pressure behind my eyes, like something was pushing its way into my thoughts. There was someone with my face in the warehouse. Someone with my body inside my house. Someone in the security footage. Someone who shouldn't exist. My twin. Not dead. Not gone. Not buried. Just waiting. I left the hospital and drove home. The front door was unlocked. I know I locked it. I stepped inside slowly. The house was silent, but it didn't feel empty. I moved carefully through the hallway, my heart beating louder with each step. I reached my bedroom door and paused. There was a sound from inside. Breathing. Slow. Steady. Human. I pushed the door open. And there, lying on my bed under my blankets, head resting on my pillow, was me. Eyes closed. Sleeping. Like he lived there. I stepped backward. The floor creaked. His eyes opened. He smiled. And he sat up.